What's up, family? Today's topic of discussion is there is no logic in walking with Christ. And the definition of no logic is something that is senseless, unreasonable, lacks coherent, rational explanation. And the definition of logic is reasoning conducted or assessed by strict principles of validity. And why there's no logic in walking with Christ is because logic doesn't require faith. Logic requires something that can be validated, that can be justified. Anything that Christ does cannot be justified by the naked eye. And that is why God says in Proverbs 3, verse 5, to lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he will guide your path. And just think about the stories that made no logical sense. The birth of Jesus, God telling Abraham to go sacrifice his son, Jesus feeding the 5,000 with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And that's just a few of many stories and proving how nothing that we do in this walk with Christ will be logical. But in all these illogical situations, we are to give a logical explanation so that others can understand, as it states in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. But in your hearts, set Christ apart as holy, acknowledging him, giving him first place in your lives as Lord. Always be ready to give a logical defense to anyone who asks you to account for the hope and confident assurance elicited by faith that is within you, yet do it with gentleness and respect. And just to give you something else that's not logical, but that came out of my own personal life and experience. In this year, I've seen 3 to 4 people get evicted. But because God's favor is upon my life, I wasn't one of them. And the reason why I say I wasn't one of them is because this whole year I was without paying rent and have yet to be evicted. So I can't give you any logical reason as to why I have not been evicted. But I can tell you that what I was praying for, I had faith in. And it wasn't to not get evicted. It wasn't to, anything dealing with the eviction. It was more so on whose lives I wanted him to touch and how I wanted him to change me. And he provided that place to keep me grounded in my faith, but also allowing me to learn and understand certain things that could only happen when we rely on God, when we put God in the forefront of our lives and just watch how he moves, how he orchestrates, how he works. Because I can tell you right now, it's a blessing. And now that I have another place to go to, the start of a new season, but also the start of a new year, it's an amazing feeling to actually see God at work in your life and that the impossible become possible with God, because the God of impossible is at hand. The God of impossible governs my life. The God of impossible makes all things possible. So I thank you for tuning in to Talks with T. Until next time, deuce.